like we say, in times of trouble, if you are creative and you get on your bike, you can turn that into a positive. And Surfing South Australia actually turned that real negative of losing the national junior sponsorships by Quicksilver into an absolute positive, because we were then able to broker the national deal on behalf of the nation. And that was one of our real, I guess, opportunities that we took. And what happened was we were able to deliver that national sponsorship package to Fantastic Noodles, who took it up and saw that it was a good fit. And now they've actually sponsored that in most states this year, and that's been brilliant both for the surfing community and we hope for Fantastic. And so we're seeing a lot of I guess publicity out of it, and we'll report at the end of September on how that exactly has gone, but it's looking pretty good at this stage. The great thing about surfers and surfing is that we've also become pretty IT savvy in terms of getting down the beach with portable systems and being able to beam out to the rest of the world with webcasts and these sorts of things. So where 10 years ago surfing events were seen as being spectator sports for the few people that come on the beach, now they're the spectator sports of the internet. And so Fuel TV, for example, and others pick those up, but they also get live on the internet all the time. So tomorrow, if you get the chance, you'll see something live on the internet that should blow your brains, organised by Surfing South Australia. And so the great thing is the technology, and surfers using that has I guess, we've got ahead of the pack of a lot of sports, and so we're using that to our advantage. And like we talked about, it captures the demographic of the market that most companies want. A lot of companies try and get in at that fairly young age to influence behaviours and spending patterns, and so obviously surfing can do that because people start at a really young age, and it's a really exciting sport. Okay, as part of that, the website power that we have is actually a lot bigger than most people would think. So these are the top sporting sites, if you like, in the nation, and the two highlighted there, Coastal Watch and Swellnet, are purely surfing related websites. So if you consider that there's two surfing related websites in the top 10 of Australia, it just gives you a bit of an idea about how many people actually go to that site every week and have a look at what's going on with the surf. So it shows you the popularity, I guess, of the surfing in Australia. And they also then are virally connected, I suppose, to lots and lots of other websites, so they all pick up each other's content. And that gives us an amazing amount of power for especially national marketing. There's an example of the judges in the tent, and to the right of them we're beaming out at the Junior Pro the live footage covered to the rest of the world, which is great. We've basically got about 700,000, nearly a million, I suppose, unique viewers to surfingaustralia.com, which is our main body. Coastal Watch, like we said on the other one, is the 7th most. Swellnet's the 6th most visited sporting site. Say that with dry lips, you'll be. And 9,000 people watched our first Junior Pro ever last year, and that just about doubled to 15,000 this year. So it just gives you a bit of an idea across Australia how popular those Junior Pros are, which are incidentally a junior sport. So they're not not the top of the game either. So that's pretty good, and we get about 50,000 page impressions. So people are going to look at our sponsors' products by choice, not being forced down their throat through ads or whatever. So thanks, Paula, for that little clue. And here's an example, I suppose, of where we've also made an opportunity out of something that was just about to pass us by. When I started, Grant Heading from Channel 10 rang and said, we're looking for someone to maybe do a surf report. Do you think you could advise on who that would be? And Todd Gowdy, on your right, basically he's been one of our best surfers for the last 10 years and can talk with a mouthful of marbles underwater. And he, in fact, is so funny that often he would come in after a surfing heat in the state titles and he'll interview himself. And that was before he was involved in Channel 10. So you know he doesn't shut up, and you can see that on Channel 10. So we sent him for a bit of a screen test. They were happy with him, that was great. And then I was at the big day out doing a bit of a membership drive in the first year. It was a really hot day, and I can remember thinking, oh, you know, it's not much fun here. I'm working, everybody's having a party. And up comes this guy who was obviously had a very merry day that day, and said, oh, I'm Todd Gowdy. I'm doing your surf report, you guys. But in the meantime, I'd had a phone call from Kate at Channel 10 saying, oh, actually the sponsors decided not to go ahead. It's a bit expensive, you know, it's not going to happen. And I said to her, give me 3 weeks and we'll have you a sponsor. And then Todd came up, of course, and said, oh, I'm doing your surf report. And I didn't have the heart to tell him, no, you're not, because we haven't got a sponsor. But anyway, we turned what was sort of a fleeting opportunity into a good one, where we basically, I did about 150 proposals. Now, they weren't anything like this. They were basically a letter to all the businesses in South Australia that I could think of, and we did have a strategy about that, saying, look, we've got some airtime, it's pretty cheap, we've got a good guy can do it, we'll get you some attention. And on about the second week, Nippy's rang me back, and I just about fell off my chair because I'd been ringing people, and they said, yeah, we'll do that, it sounds like a good idea. And they did a 12-week trial, and that lasted for 18 months. And what we aimed to do with the surf report, with these, I might have even down. We wanted to give the sponsor value for money, so we wanted to get their logo well and truly up there and get them out there in something that was unique. So we knew kids would watch it, we knew mums would just incidentally sit there and watch it, and we wanted to make it interesting with some embedded surfing SA messages, but still really push the sponsor. Product placement opportunities for the sponsor was always a good thing to give back. And we promoted, obviously, the participation of surfing. So it wasn't just talking about where the best surf was, it was get out there, the learners, great weekend for the learners, all these sorts of things. So I guess giving a whole package to the sponsor, but giving a whole package to surfing.